I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin' Raw podcast, where Deep Six isn't measured in just inches. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden, Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-hosts this evening from the She Elite Showcase. She's a shaman of She Elite. She is the host of the She Elite Showcase, Inside the Mind of In the Crowd. She's the hardest working woman in podcasting today, or at least that's what we say. Miss Katie Kinsey Bay.
Because it's true.
I just want another line that rhymed. Don't worry about that. Also, tied now in the race for Pornhub Poppy with Vince, who did not make it. But we did not come alone, ladies and gentlemen, making his return to the Smackin' Raw podcast and Pornhub from the Kings of the Ring podcast. It is King Ricky Rose.
Hello. I'm very, very excited to be back on Pornhub again. When you asked me to do this like an hour and a half ago, it didn't dawn on me until I was coming back from my late night Wendy's. I was like, oh crap, I'm going to be on Pornhub again. This is going to be great for my social media following.
See, there you go.
I can't wait to post out that I'm on Pornhub. People will be like, what the fuck? And then they're going to be like, oh, it's wrestling again, you bastard. I'm going to clickbait everybody.
You
Hey, absolutely. I want to get those Pornhub numbers back up. They've been strangely, like randomly since we've started going live. I don't know if it's because people are like, oh, we can watch them live now. So we're not going to no, go watch us on Pornhub. Like, I know Travis cares about Twitch and YouTube. I don't. Pornhub is my baby. That's where I want you to go watch us. So go watch us on Pornhub.
We're going to have to talk offline about the wonders of also restream as well, because you can stream to more than two places there.
Oh. Well, we can stream more than two places here too.
Yeah.
Travis just hasn't set it up so I can stream to Pornhub, and I don't know if I can yet, because if I could, I would be. So.
Of course. Yeah. I want to be like, hey, I am live on Pornhub right now. We'll get some people. I mean, nothing says go to porn with like a giant big black guy on Pornhub. I feel like that's money making right there.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't love to watch a black guy in a Pornhub movie?
If you're in the chat and you don't, you can leave.
Probably. That means you, Vince. Goes to a fucking preseason basketball game. Holy shit. On a Friday.
Yeah, right. Preseason basketball was more important than hanging out with us. That's all I know.
Whatever. You missed the bomb ass SmackDown, I'll tell you that.
He did. Speaking of which, let's get into some news and rumors. Everyone knows this. Just real quick, Daniel Cormier will be reffing the Fight Pit. We'll talk about it when we get to Raw, but that was here. Sammy and Andrade. So
the same reaction. We're just like,
all right. So here's the deal. All right. Regardless of what actually happened, because Andrade got sent home and Sammy.
You know that means Andrade won, right?
Yes, exactly. Which we're gonna get into. I'm getting there. So Andrade got sent home. Sammy didn't. So this all started on Twitter. They were beefing back and forth. Sammy said some shit. Andrade said, "Hey, be a man and come and say it to me." Sammy's like, "Go back to WWE where we all want where we know you want to go because you failed to get over twice and you only have this job because of your father-in-law." Blah blah blah. So then after it came out and reports changed that originally it was Sammy pushed Andrade and then Andrade threw hands and then reports kind of changed. Everyone's like, oh, you guys should all apologize. Fuck Sammy Guevara. I'm not apologizing to Sammy Guevara. Like, I kind of hope he got punched in the face. It doesn't matter. He started this shit. He went to Twitter. He ran his mouth. He fucked around and then found out.
100%.
Yeah.
For the second time. in like less than a month. Does this motherfucker know how to stop running his mouth yet?
He does not. Okay, so does any of you follow the NBA, like literally any sort of sport? Do you guys know what happened with the Golden State Warriors like a couple of days ago?
Wasn't it like two players fought? That's all I know.
So somebody leaked the video to TMZ because TMZ fucking gets everything. So essentially, Jordan Poole, one of the younger players who's due for a really good contract, tried to talk shit or was in a verbal argument, which this happens a lot of times with competitive people, but is in a verbal argument with probably the toughest motherfucker on the team, Draymond Green. Everybody knows that name. And essentially, Draymond Green, Superman punched him and knocked him to the fucking floor. I saw the video. It's amazing. It was literally one shove and a quick right. What's up, Apron Bump? Apron Bump, all my people have collabed with, so he's a good dude. And knocked him to the floor. And this is the thing with Sammy. Sammy has a mouth that tries to write checks that his ass can't cash. Happens religiously. It happened with the Sasha Banks incident. Everybody remembers that. And Sasha Banks was humble enough to kind of reconcile with him, saving his career, because Sasha Banks could have buried Sammy. And it would have been over for him. You know, there's a video that came out of one of Sammy Guevara's tryouts at
where
the
Lacey's
PC,
criticizing him rolling.
Yep. And he tries to talk shit. I was talking to my friend about this, who used to be in the armed forces, and I said Lacey Evans had that Marine look on her face when Sammy like called her like baby, and I was like, oh, he's not making it. Like, he's not making all of this. Seems to be Sammy's MO. No matter how many times Tony Khan is going to say he needs to go to some sort of therapy, not even therapy, or some sort of clash or sensitivity training or whatever, he hasn't learned.
No,
he hasn't learned.
And that's because Tony is not like Eddie got in trouble. Sammy didn't. Andrade got in trouble. Sammy didn't. And it's because Sammy's hiding under Chris Jericho's skirt. And the fact that TK refuses to punish Sammy.
That's really dumb. That's really
it's really dumb.
I mean, it's Tony Khan and the Flying Monkey Circus over at AEW. Like what I like, I said this on my show once. What Tony does really well, which is weird for me to say, but what Tony does really well is that when shit goes down, when shit hits the fan, he is very good at kind of trying to clean it up before it becomes a bigger deal. You know, and he'll put out the press release, he'll say all the right things. You look at like the John Moxley situations of the past, and you know, other PR disasters. He's very good that once it happens and he realizes, oh, this might be bad, they'll try to clean it up. The problem is he doesn't do anything beforehand.
Yeah.
And you know how, and with this incident in general, everybody saw how vocal Sammy and Andrade were getting on Twitter, and TK loves his Twitter because he's obviously, you know, the longest running general manager or longest running executive in pro wrestling now that Vince is retired, and he embraces Twitter, and he should have seen this and been like, what the fuck is going on? This isn't part of storyline. Is this real? Is this big? But like, somebody should have told him. He should have put his foot in somebody's ass, but he doesn't want to do that because he just wants to hug everybody. Because he's a fan playing wrestling.
Ricky Starks had the best reaction to it on Twitter. He was like, man, can my coworker shut the fuck up for a minute? Because it's true. All of them just go to Twitter and talk shit on each other. Sammy, Eddie, Sammy, common theme of Sammy Andrade, the whole Elite Punk Cabana, all that shit somehow was on Twitter too. It's ridiculous.
What a debacle.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, you knew the shit was gonna go down. Andrade literally said, I'll fucking see you on Wednesday. And you didn't attempt to, like, keep them apart. Like, you didn't try, clearly. And that's, yeah, I agree. Sammy's definitely TK's coke dealer or something. There's no way.
TK doesn't need a person as low as Sammy Guevara to get coke. He is the son of oil money. he gets some high quality. So he does not need Sammy Guevara to get him anything.
It's just
Uh-huh.
fake Inspector Gadget looking motherfucker, Sammy Guevara.
The issue is the lunatics are running the asylum in AEW, and it was going to get to this point, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And the media scrum clearly showed everybody's hands or lack thereof.
It showed that TK's a bitch.
TK's been a bitch. I've been saying this for a while.
That really proved it, though.
Yeah.
Like we knew, but like we've been new, but like now we know.
TK has no idea.
He sat there while Punk was just eating muffins, drinking water, shitting on his entire company.
That muffin looked fantastic too, by the way.
It probably really was. I'm not gonna lie to you. I bet that muffin was great.
I wonder how much money he got to promote those muffins.
That's the issue with TK. He is a wrestling fan he's trying to play GM mode on WWE 2K, and he doesn't know what he's doing. And it shows by the way that his talent acts when he's right next to them. Put it this way, just for comparison's sake. If Vince, not preseason basketball game Vince, but if Vince McMahon did a media scrum and his champion tried to pop up out the mouth one, it would have never gotten that far. At all. Say what you want about Vince McMahon, scumbag, whatever. Brilliant. One of probably the best entrepreneur I've ever seen in my lifetime. But he commanded authority, and TK does not have that authority from anybody at all.
Yep.
I agree. In other news, WWE hires horror writer as director, or horror and Marvel's comics writer, former horror and Marvel comics writer, as director of long-term creative. And from what I've heard, he is the one who has been behind all of the QR codes and the stuff for the White Rabbit and everything.
You bastard.
Very excited about this signing and what this may mean going forward. Also, I've heard that he is a very good friend of Bray Wyatt. So,
oh my god, tomorrow?
So, oh yeah, the QR. I've been losing my mind on these QR codes.
They're the best.
Yeah, a fucking bunny was in the crowd tonight. Literally, a person dressed up in a bunny outfit was walking around the arena.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't like it. Get it away from me. I would hit it.
It's going to be a big disappointment when everybody knows it's Adam Rose.
Did you not go visit the Easter Bunny as a child, Katie? Were you one of those kids that was
what is that?
I did. Okay, Matt, I literally just watched The Strangers last night. I don't really like people with like masks right now. So
well, at least you have not watched, because if you're worried about like animal masks, at least you haven't watched Your Next yet. So
I'm watching that tomorrow. Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Kathy Kelly is now back with WWE, which I'm actually very excited about. Like, we got Kathy. I need Charlie. Bring Charlie back and I'll be happy.
No, you don't need Charlie.
I need Charlie.
I've heard. Oh well, I have inside info about Charlie, but you don't need Charlie back.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Trust me. I mean, I get why we need Charlie back, because I would like Charlie back too, in all honesty. But I've also only seen between Charlie and Kathy Kelly. I saw Kathy Kelly in person. When they did a pre-show out in Brooklyn before an NXT. She's stunning.
Yeah.
No, like pictures don't do her justice. She's stunning. And I was with the chick at the time. We were both like, wow. So right. I'm very happy Kathy's back.
Also, shout out to Julia Hart and Lee Johnson, who got engaged.
Yay.
Black don't crack, baby.
Mm-hmm. So Julia Hart and Sky Blue both have better taste in men than Ty Conti. Neither here nor there.
Does Ty Conti still think she can wrestle?
She thinks a lot of things that aren't true. Like, Sammy's talented. Lana apparently is going to be in the newest season of The Surreal Life.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know was still a thing.
It wasn't. And they're deciding to bring it back.
Yeah, I feel like she either tweeted something about it, or I saw an article like months ago when they kind of released the list of who was going to be in it. And I don't know if it was that or something else, but Naomi was supposed to be in it too.
Oh, thank God she declined that apron bump with the quote of the night right now.
If you're not watching this, I don't read a lot of tweets out loud, but if you're not watching this, I'm going to read this for you. Kyle, pretty Kyle from the Apron Bump said, I throw myself headfirst into a wood chipper just for the off chance that I get recycled into Kathy Kelly's toilet paper.
You better tweet that too. That's amazing.
He would.
Kyle, we need you on my show, by the way. You've worked with my boy Frats. We need you on the Kings of the Rings podcast. But yeah, the surreal life is weird. Like it's Lana, who's a very nice person. I met her. She's really awesome. It's Lana. It's Dennis Rodman,
who apparently showed his dick to everybody.
I'm not. Who is anybody
that's literally
surprised?
that's like the only thing they were talking about in the whole trailer I saw.
This is a sports 2022 sort of deal going on. Antonio Brown's jacking off in the pool. Rodman's showing everyone their dick. Like,
Antonio Brown's still relevant? I haven't heard from him since he walked out of New York. I mean, Tampa. Well,
there was just news like last week that he was in a pool and he exposed himself to a bunch of strangers in a pool. And the picture I saw looked like he had a full hard-on in his hand, just chilled back, naked in the pool.
Oh, see, I didn't.
Mental health matters, folks.
I saw an edited picture of it, thank God.
Well, it was censored, so I didn't actually see his dick. But
yeah,
the censor was like that fucking long. Like it was a long. Good for Antonio.
It was legit.
Yeah. It wasn't Deep 6. That was about at least Deep 9.
Ooh, jeez, Deep Space 9.
He's
and then out there.
Yeah. Last but not least, the sad news. Sarah Lee, former NXT contestant, wife of Wesley Blake and mother of 3, passed away at the age of 30.
Yeah, that's so a sad. Weird one. It also came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the cause of death is still, right?
Not that I've heard.
No, I mean she like posted something on Instagram like 2 days before it was like announced, or when we found out like 2 days beforehand, that she was like recovering from like her first sinus infection, and she was like at the gym like 2 days in a row, and then this kind of just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's
so fucking sad.
It is sad. I mean, her career in WWE was very short. She surprisingly won the Tough Enough reboot, which had the likes of Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, the Velveteen Dream, who actually should have won, and a couple of other people who ended up having careers in WWE. And obviously, when you don't want anybody to fail, and she didn't make it, and that happens to a lot of people. She was also really, really young. But she had a family. She had 3 kids. She was only 30. Like, it's so surprising.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and WWE did do the nice thing of putting a little thing out for her and acknowledging that she was a member of the family, but unfortunately passed away. So, I hope Blake of all people, was it Wesley Blake? Yeah, I hope Blake is doing well, and hope someone reaches out to him, because I have no idea how he's feeling about all that.
And then also there is a GoFundMe to help with funeral costs that a lot of wrestlers have donated to and tweeted out, so you can look for that if you want to go donate some money to that as well. Yeah, a lot. It was like within like 5 hours of being up, it was already like at 50,000 plus.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're a fraternity, man. Once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, you can see like donations from people, and like you can see the names, and like somebody took a screenshot of like the majority of the names.
That was weird to me that people were screenshotting, and
like you don't have to they know, like we know everyone would, especially like people who were her friends. Like
so, but thoughts and prayers to the family of Sarah Lee. And rest in peace, Sarah Lee.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into why we're here. For everyone listening, you know how this works. I am going to go around in a triangle since there's only 3 of us, starting with Ricky, and then Katie, and then me. And I will ask a very simple question: spit or swallow. And Ricky will either tell me something that he swallowed or spit from the week in wrestling that he watched, and we'll go until either we run out of things to talk about, or I've decided the show's gone on too long and I'm just going to end it, whichever comes first. So, Ricky, spit or swallow?
I am going to swallow. I'm not gonna. There's something I do want to swallow, but I don't want to steal it from you, Matt, because I think I know what it probably is. So I'm gonna go to SmackDown. I'm not gonna go to Raw because there's something that I know you want to swallow. That's probably on Raw. But that main event, Sheamus and the artist formerly known as Walter, aka Gunther, that SmackDown main event for the IC title, chef's kiss, absolutely fucking amazing. These guys just have chemistry, and I'll say it once, I'll say it again. They just need to do a best of 7. Wherever they are in the world, they are Sheamus and Gunther are throwing down. And fans, like, it's one thing for them to do it and have the fans go nuts in the UK and Cardiff and Wales. They did it they did it back here in the States on American soil, and people lost their fucking mind. Absolutely lost it in that main event that Triple H gave about like a half hour or so to.
Just about with entrances, yeah.
Just about a half hour to. They can put on 5 or more matches, have it culminated like a Survivor Series or like a Big Four, and I think they'll legitimately draw for that long. I think it'll work because these guys just work really well. It's probably my match of the week. It's probably my best match I saw this week.
It's crazy because I was not high on the idea of like I like Sheamus. I like Sheamus a lot, and I would love to see him become Grand Slam champion and win that IC title that's been eluding him. But I was like, we got to let Gunther do his thing. You know, he's champion. But the way that this feud has just brought that title back to where it should have been at this point, especially with the last 2 losses that Sheamus has taken, if it culminates at like Survivor Series with Sheamus beating Gunther, I think everything that this feud will do for Gunther, it's not going to hurt him. Like, I wouldn't be mad to see Sheamus actually finish this feud, getting the win on Gunther and taking that IC title off him.
Can you imagine Sheamus beating Gunther for the IC title at Survivor Series, which is in Boston, which is a very Irish town? That place will lose its mind, and it's Thanksgiving break for most people. People are getting hammered and losing their mind.
100%. And like the only issue, like the match itself was fine. The only issue I have is Gunther fucking tapped. Like I get it, but like you don't try and wrestlers obviously like they like pound their fists or whatever if like because like they want to give up. You don't slap the mat twice to like signal that you're still good. No, that was a clear fucking tap. The crowd lost their mind, and it has to go. We at least get one more match out of this because there's no fucking way.
He maybe inadvertently created controversy, but it'll work.
Yeah, because now I want it in like a fucking Hell in a Cell.
I can agree with that. Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna start with spit. It's just a little one. Montez Ford being hurt. Like, what the fuck? There's just casually pans down, man's wearing a walking boot. Like, what? When the fuck did this happen? Is he like, how long is he on the shelf? Do we get to know? Like, what the fuck is this?
He's not that injured. He was still able to do his entire entrance. Okay, he's not that injured. The boot is just a precautionary measure a lot of the time. Could be some sort of stress fracture that they don't want to like have him get injured anymore. But like, as long as Dawkins can put on great matches, he's fine.
Which he did.
Yeah.
Like, because Dawkins, like, they're both fine individually. They're great as a tag team. They're both very good as individuals, and Dawkins doesn't get enough credit that he deserves. But like, I just want to know how long. It's all I want to know. And how severe. Like, I know like the walking boot you can still do a lot with it. But like there is no inklings of a little report or anything. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all got spies everywhere. How did I not know this?
Have we ever seen someone use the walking boot like we've seen them use like the forearm cast?
No.
Because that could be entertaining. If he still went out there, he still did matches, he kicked somebody with the walking boot, they made a big deal. big deal about how it's like a weapon, but it's not. That I'd enjoy that. I am with you, Katie. I am going to spit the fact that he's injured and we don't know exactly what the fuck is going on. No one said shit. We just saw him in the walking boot. However, with everything that happened on Monday Night Raw around that, I have to I got to swallow Tez dropping the acknowledge these nuts line on the bloodline backstage. The bloodline just being the bloodline on Raw and Sammy cracking up Solo and Jimmy until Buzzkill Jay shows up. And then the they tell the Street Profits, oh, we're going to be on Raw next week, so be ready to acknowledge him. Sammy's doing his PR work that he said he was going to go do. And that led to all this and them getting into it. And then the match we got between Solo and Dawkins, because Dawkins has been fucking showing out as a singles wrestler with whatever's been going on with Montez Ford, and showing that, when he gets in these singles, he's not the weak link that everyone was saying that he was going to be. Everyone's like, Montez is going to be the breakout star. Dawkins is going to fade into it. Like, he's showing that he can go. And I was not expecting a really good match from Solo Sikoa and Dawkins on Monday Night Raw, and I was surprised with it. So
the scary thing about Dawkins is Dawkins doesn't look athletic one bit. And then he's pulling out cartwheels. He's doing tope con hilos, just like doing the flips. Like he's not as athletic as Montez, but the fact that he's able to do similar things to Montez at his height and size, because I have a picture of the Street Profits, they're huge men.
Yeah.
They are huge men. It's very just astonishing to see what Dogg's into, especially his drop kick. Like, how the fuck are you getting that high?
I don't even think he knows.
I don't know if you're still in the in the chat, Travis, but if
we're in
you
the
are,
trap, all right.
Popped in. Yeah, no, if you're still in the trap, Travis, can Acknowledge These Nuts be the title of this week's episode? Just out of curiosity. Because I got in trouble for our last episode title. YouTube, or not the last one, the second to last one. YouTube didn't like Warjo Fucks Hard. They got mad at us for that. So.
But it's true.
I want to ask.
If you add some Z's to the D's and the nuts, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, probably.
I am going to spit the execution of the Sexecutioners. I have been trying to get into this with them. I want to like it. That promo from Dom was fucking terrible. You got the Finn and AJ match. AJ shoves Ray, basically because it was Ray's fault that, Ray and AJ lost. AJ gets jumped after the match. Ray left and just let it happen. Now he's a bad friend and a bad dad. Like the whole thing, it's not doing it for me. Like there was a little intrigue with the AJ Finn, maybe, hey, the club, but I really don't want to see AJ in this Executioners. And as much as I've tried to get into this and like tried to really force myself to like it because I wanted to, it's just not working for me at all.
Which is funny because they're getting there now. See, the problem with this whole moment is that Dom missed a perfect time to go off script and give the fans what they want. He had the first part of what would have been an epic line and an epic burn, and he totally missed the punch. He said, Ray, you're not my father anymore. And he should have either said, Eddie's my dad, or my poppy's right next to me, and it's Rhea, and over like Rover. But he shied away from it. And I'd be upset about it too. The problem with this too is that Edge doesn't fit in this equation, but Edge is getting the match against Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where it should be like everything points to AJ and Finn battling it out in an I Quit match, which would be great. Absolutely great. I mean, Edge and Finn are probably going to steal the show anyways, but like Edge doesn't need to be in this. He's in this for the sake of the fact that he's Edge and he's going to sell tickets.
See, I don't even know if they're going to steal the show though, because like this is the first time in a long time I'm fucking excited for an Extreme Rules card. Like
it's the most extreme Rules.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a match on there where I'm like, oh fuck, I don't really care about that. Like I even carrying Cross and Drew McIntyre after tonight, I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see them beat the shit out of each other with the strap on.
Yeah, after tonight, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Before tonight, no.
I'm always happy to see Scarlett.
Well, that's a fucking
it's the reason. It's the reason I'm excited for the match.
Where's the leak, ma'am?
Because you never know what Scarlett is or is not going to wear.
That is very true.
Yeah.
I'm still
On her finger.
completely shocked by the fact that she and one other female wrestler still have their OnlyFans. Hit Row.
BFAB.
BFAB have their OnlyFans up while back in WWE.
Listen. I'm never telling Scarlett no about anything. It's not in me at all. You want to have your OnlyFans, baby? Go right ahead. Do whatever you want. Just keep looking. Keep doing you.
I'm just hoping now that that's the case, Shotzi Blackheart doesn't have to like wear a mask on Scarlett's OnlyFans to do things with her because, like, hey, we're here. Like, can we just can Natty go rub lotion on her sister? Like, we know she's the one filming it.
I really don't know how Natty has gotten away with so much of being on her sister's shit and not wrestling.
There's a theory from Young Kings Wrestling. Shout out to Young Kings Wrestling, by the way. And if you guys want, they have some dope Black Lives Matter t-shirts in the NWO style font. There's one for breast cancer awareness that's out now. You can go pick up. That's black and pink. So you want to support breast cancer awareness or just, help donate to a good cause, go check them out. It's ykwrestling.com where you guys can find those. However, TC has a theory that I kind of sparked by joking around and saying some dumb shit that he just ran with, where essentially Vince is a time traveler and Natty caught Vince time traveling and now has the entire company by the balls and does whatever she wants. And that's why she gets away with and gets all of the opportunities and everything she does. And that Stephanie is protecting her father by continuing to allow Natty to just do whatever and be wherever and being involved in all this shit.
This is like the Shane Black Box theory.
Mm-hmm.
It makes too much fucking sense now. At first, I was like, nah, TC's just it's too far. But then things kept happening. I'm like, see, but where are these opportunities coming from? There's no other reason besides Natty seeing Vince time travel when she was a small child. There's no other. I am accepting no other reason.
Who do you guys think main events tomorrow?
Oh, the Extreme Rules match.
Oh. We have different opinions.
Listen, everybody comes for Extreme Rules. The Extreme Rules match is the match that's probably going to main event and has the most on the line. And who's on the cover of the Extreme Rules? Ronda is.
Oh, I literally was about to be like, I don't even know which match that is. So clearly I'm not paying attention to anything.
There's only one Extreme Rules match. There's two championship matches. They're both women's matches. So I believe they bookend the card.
Okay.
And then you have a whole bunch of crazy shit in the middle. So, but I believe we are starting with either the Extreme Rules match or we are starting with the ladder match. I believe we will start with the ladder match.
See,
Bianca's a good opener.
I think we start with Extreme Rules and end with Bayley and Bianca because it is the first time it's the women's title is being defended in a ladder match.
It's the first singles women's ladder match.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's Ronda. You're going to have Ronda open?
Do we have to have Ron on the card?
Yes. Yes, you do. You know why? Because Charlotte's not around.
I don't need Charlotte either. We're fine.
You're not fine. You're not fine. You're gonna tell me the only active horsewoman is Bayley, and that's gonna be enough? No, you need Ronda on that card.
I would open with the 6-man tag Donnybrook match, and I would close with the ladder match. That's what I would do.
The only way I see the Donnybrook match being the first match is if it was on the pre-show. I think you hide the Donnybrook. We did this on the show. We did this on my show, Kings of the Rings podcast. I think it's ladder match. We went ladder. I think we did ladder, strap, I quit. Ladder, strap, I quit, Donnybrook, fight pit, Extreme Rules.
I forget about half these matches already.
There's only 6, by the way.
I have hopes for the fight pit match, but we'll get into that. Ricky, spit or swallow?
Oh, Jay, we talked about a lot, but I mean, besides, I want to swallow the entire SmackDown show because that show was A plus. Everything hit on all cylinders. In particular, I am going to swallow. I'm going to go a lot from SmackDown because it's recency effect, recency bias actually. The official debut of L.A. Knight on SmackDown. I know it was like a 30-second backstage Pete Down and Ken of Maximum Male Models, which for like a month, one of my favorite gimmicks in all of wrestling. But I love the fact that LA Knight is here and he is going to electrify SmackDown for a very, very long time.
The amount of happy that I have in my heart that Max Dupree is dead, and we've got LA Knight back and immediately wrestling a match against Mansoor next week. I cannot tell you. Mansoor. Because while I understood the idea, like, yes, he's a great talker, this and that, he's so much more than that. And Katie, I think we were on the same page. Like, we didn't really like Eli Drake, LA Knight, when he first came into NXT, and then he really
grows on you. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're like, dude, this guy's fucking great. Like, I can't wait. Like,
I can tell you when it happened, Matt. It was a little before the War Games match with like old NXT versus new NXT. That's when we both were kind of like, you know what, LA Knight, okay, we're kind of feeling it, and then we just continue to love him more.
Wow,
and more.
It took you guys that long?
I feel like that's like where we both were just like, yeah, we like him.
You know what I appreciate about the man formerly known as Max Dupree is that they gave him chicken shit and he made that chicken salad as best as he could.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I wasn't sold on it. And then they started doing the fashion show and he started narrating the fashion show. And I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. I love it. Like, they did the fashion show. They had the website. He was commenting on guys' profile photos that they'd send into the website. Like, he was all in. And I'm like, it's a shit gimmick, but it's so stupid. It's working.
Yeah. Yeah. But much happier that we're gonna get LA Knight back and all the teases that they've been leading up to this moment, and then us getting it, like you said, SmackDown fucking killed. SmackDown killed tonight.
Yep.
Hit on all cylinders.
Spit or swallow?
I'm still on Raw. I'm swallowing the Mustafa Ali and then the Almighty United States Champion Bobby Lashley match. A, Ali needs to be on TV more. B, Bobby slapped for absolutely no fucking reason. We didn't need a banger of a match. And you end it with Ali not tapping, just passing out, which makes him still look strong and a good competitor. And then you throw Seth fucking Rollins into the mix again by just wrecking them both. And if we get Ali and Seth in a match, and we're getting Bobby and Seth for the title next week, good. I like this. This is good.
Y'all know Seth's winning that title on Monday, right?
I mean,
I need Seth to win the fight pit tomorrow.
Oh
no,
don't.
Ricky, I don't want to use it on you. Don't make me use it on you.
I'm not saying all signs point to Seth winning on Monday. I'm telling you that's all I'm saying. All signs point to Seth winning on Monday.
Let's talk about this. So first off, I need to talk to whoever braided Mustafa Ali here in Chicago, because clearly you braided those braids too tight the way he came at Bobby.
Yeah, but it came from Chirac. Let him live.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. You know, he's got the attitude. He's challenging Big Bob, poking him in the chest and shit, which is something I would not have the balls to do. So shout out to you. Because
it's okay.
I'm
just
sure
kick him in the legs. Bobby Lashley has chicken legs. I've seen him in person. Chicken legs. You'll be fine.
I'm bigger physically than he is, and I wouldn't go pushing Bobby Lashley in the chest like that. But
just go for the legs.
Like Katie said, the match was fantastic. The curse of Riddle strikes again. It is now something that is spreading. So first it was just everyone that was associated and tag teamed with Matt Riddle just had bad things happen to them in their careers. And I've run down the list before, whether it's MSK or Randy Orton, now Rey Mysterio, Candy Cartwright. Now Bobby Lashley just, associating himself with Matt Riddle in the back has led to him getting stomped out by Seth Rollins. However, along with this, I do have a swallow that involves that. So I'm swallowing the Riddle and Rollins face-to-face because Rollins started taunting Riddle about how bad of a dad he is and how his kids don't love him and don't want to see him. And
he's not allowed to see his kids.
Yeah, that warmed my heart because we need more of that.
That's why I didn't take that moment from you. That's why I went to something else.
So, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I will tag on to Katie's and make that my official swallow is the face-to-face with Riddle and Rollins that happened after this and the just complete verbal abuse that Rollins gave Matt Riddle and him not being able to control himself because he can't accept that he's a bad dad.
Well, I mean, the boot fits. I'm sorry, the flip-flop fits. Wear it.
You could say boot. I understand you.
Ricky, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna spit. Not the Rollins and Riddle segment, but just as part of the segment. Daniel Cormier being live via satellite on clearly pre-recorded. Okay, so it leaks Friday at midnight or some bullshit. Ariel Helwani leaks this that at nighttime while everybody's fucking sleeping. He's like, oh, by the way, Daniel Cormier is going to be the special enforcer. Thanks, Ariel Helwani. And now everybody's losing their mind. And there's like more details on Monday. And you're like, oh, is DC going to show up on Monday? The guy who has been begging to be a part of WWE for years, if you listen to him in UFC. He wants to be part of WWE so badly. He finally gets his moment. And now he's on a freaking pre-recorded video message. Come on.
And not just that, the pre-recorded video message made it seem like he was making the announcement like none of us knew, which is why I'm with you spitting that because you do realize
it was also in the daytime.
Yeah. But we knew it was happening. Like, you're not announcing anything to us. No one's getting any more excited than they already were. It was very awkward the way they placed that. Like, it wasn't supposed to leak or something. So I'm with you on that. However, I have hopes. So the reason I didn't want you to say that Riddle was going to win, even though I know logically, if you want to do something stupid, all signs point to Riddle should probably win this for the people who actually care about Riddle.
Listen, some people have signature matches, and Matt Riddle's might be the fight pit.
I don't care. Matt Riddle's signature match should be anything 24/7 division. What I need is for Seth Rollins to get the win because Daniel Cormier screws Matt Riddle, takes his shirt off, and is wearing a Seth Rollins shirt underneath. Kind of like Tyson in the main event of WrestleMania screwed Shawn Michaels and hung out with. That's what I want, but kind of like in reverse, where now he's siding with the heel and doing the DX shirt part of it. That's what I want. So screw Matt Riddle, and then maybe we're going to Crown Jewel. We could have Daniel Cormier versus Matt Riddle and Crown Jewel in a fight pit. Like, you could sell that. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think the reverse is happening. And I think if you're going to make somebody look good who wants to really fight, and I think Daniel Cormier gets physical. He's getting physical because he's pretty much a professional athlete. So he's going to get physical. I think it's going to be against the heel in the match, which leads the heel to lose. But then the heel will get their redemption and take out Bobby on Raw, and then it may lead to a match, a quick program, because it's a quick turnaround from Extreme Rules to Crown Jewel before Survivor Series, and you will get Seth versus Cormier.
Now, let's also not forget, Triple H is in charge, and Triple H was a heel who won a lot of matches he should not have won, and Seth is Triple H's little prodigy. So there were a lot of matches Triple H you were damn sure he was going to lose, and he still walked away the winner, and you were like, how the fuck is this happening? And I'm not even talking just like Booker T WrestleMania 19. I'm talking
that was my first example.
Cactus Jack in the Hell in a Cell. Like there are a lot of matches that happened.
Most
out there
Hell in a
Triple H
Cell
won.
matches that Triple H should have lost.
Yes.
Exactly.
So Triple H Sting, another great example. So
Perfect example. There is something that's totally missing from that Sting and Triple H match because they wanted to do WCW versus WWE in like a final send off. And you know how like in a part of a match, Shawn Michaels shows up and like super kicks Sting.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been, when he goes for the super kick, he should have been speared by Goldberg. That would have sold it for me. Because like you had the NWO and DX fighting, dust settles, Shawn Michaels in the ring about the super kick, Goldberg comes in for the spear. I'm like, yep, sold. Let's do this. Keep it going.
He was never really part of the NWO though, so like that whole thing bothered me. But that we're not here to talk about that. That's a whole podcast. We could break down the issues with that match and what they could have done and who they could have brought out for Team WCW outside of Nash, Hall, and Hogan. Or shitting on Hogan for another hour. Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm going to swallow Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae. I love Mama Candice. And I'm happy that we're like utilizing this like core 7 on Raw. So like all of Damage Control and then Bianca, Asuka, Bliss, and now kind of Candice. Even though Candice really didn't show up at the end, and I was like, damn, you really left your friends out there. It's kind of shady. That's fine. But I liked this match, and it went back to them feuding in NXT after Dakota turned heel, almost cost Rhea and Candice the War Games match.
Oh.
So I liked it kind of going back to that. And it was a good match. I love Dakota. I'm happy she's back. I'm happy Candice is back. More women's wrestling on my TV. I just want Candice to fight a dude. Candice versus Chad Gable. I want that match.
Listen, Chad's out here suplexing Braun Strowman for shits and giggles, so Chad can do whatever he wants. I was there in the arena at the very poorly seated Allstate Arena because those seats there are horrible. When for that War Games match when Dakota turned, and I've never been more attracted to Dakota Kai than when she turned. I was like, oh wow.
I'm so disappointed that we weren't friends at that point because I was also at that War Games.
Oh yeah, Will and I were there. We drove to Chicago from the East Coast 10 hours through the night to get to Chicago. We went to every event. We went to SmackDown, Takeover, Survivor Series, and literally got in the car and left right after Raw to go back to New York. Because we're insane.
No. That would have been really fun to have met up with you guys while you were out here. I'm kind of bummed about that now.
Yeah, we'll be back at some point. We'll probably take a plane in next time.
I would if I were you. I'm with you, Katie. I had Candice and Dakota on there. We'll talk about it later, but 2 hours of Rampage actually had more than one women's wrestling match.
What? I know.
I mean, it was 2 separate shows and one on each show, but let's not get into logistics.
Yeah.
More than one women's wrestling match tonight.
Wait, it didn't feature one match didn't feature Jade?
Yes, one match didn't feature Jade.
Wow. There's more there's more women in the division. It's crazy.
What term event?
Speaking of Candice, speaking of Mrs. Gargano, speaking of the way, I'm swallowing everything that happened with the Miz, Dexter, and Johnny.
Yep.
Because it is one of my favorite fucking things on Raw. Like, there's so much good going on. Like you said, Damage Control and all of that. But I just have this weird obsession with Dexter Lumis. Like, if I had a man crush, it's Dexter Lumis. And him choking out the Miz, cuddling him to sleep, stroking his hair, Johnny walking by and just being like, what? And then going back, Dexter's gone, Miz is passed out. Like, love all of it. Big fan. Gargano waking the Miz up, Miz freaking out. Like I said, I don't even need a match. You can just keep doing this and I will be entertained.
Honestly, the camera work during these segments is also really good as well.
Yeah.
Like they do just enough for you to recognize that Dexter's there. And by the time you recognize and you want to look back, he is out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It is brilliant camera work each time. I don't know where this ends. That's my issue with it. Like they're doing really well, and it's been keeping everybody's attention for a long time. But what is the payoff? See, the issue a lot with WWE is doing a lot of mystery. Like we don't know why Dexter is playing 7 minutes in heaven with the Miz every week. Like we don't know why that's happening. We don't know about this White Rabbit gimmicky shit, although we have a clear idea about who it probably is. The issue is you have all this mystery, which is great, but now you have to pay off the storylines because if the finish isn't good, as Vince said, they only remember the finish. The finish isn't good, everything else goes to shit.
You pay off. I think I talked about this last week. You pay off the Miz and Dexter
With the
on Halloween in Dexter's haunted house.
Yep.
So you're gonna give Miz the Cameron Grimes position?
Yes.
Okay, that could work. Miz would be funnier in it too, which is hard because Cameron Grimes is really funny in that.
Exactly. And that's how you pay it off. I mean, I'm also down for a Ciampa versus Loomis match to get Loomis in the ring. After that, if that's where they want to go or however they want to do it. If Miz is like, I'm not wrestling him, blah, blah, blah. And they want to, I like the Miz. I don't ever get excited for Miz matches. I've said it like 3 weeks in a row now. There's never a match that Miz is in where I'm really excited to see the Miz wrestle. Like I'm not. I'm really excited to see all of the other stuff the Miz does, but in ring, never. Like he makes people look great, but him as a wrestler, I'm just never excited for it. So
we're more excited when Maurice returns with the Miz too. That's the one I got my excitement for.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, spit or swallow?
It's gonna be like it's a swallow with a little bit of a spit. The debut of Legado del Fantasma tonight on SmackDown. What a debut. Right when we thought Hit Row was going to have a segment, which I am a very big Hit Row fan. I think they're doing a lot, which will pay off down the road, but that's a whole nother conversation. To have Legado del Fantasma come in, totally attack them in fly-ass suits and luchador masks, which, duh, that's who the fuck they are, and have Zelina be the new leader, which was very surprising. Pleasant surprise. So she had been talking on social media about how she was on her way back. She didn't say when. She had only mentioned that she had started preparing her Rumble gear because it's a giant cosplay, because that's just what Zelina does.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I was like, oh, she's going to return at the Rumble. It'll be all good. She's just taking time off and doing whatever Zelina does. And then she showed up, blonde-haired, like a true New York Puerto Rican, blonde-haired, and the leader. And my only spit is, what the fuck happened to Elektra? The last time we saw them all, freaking Santos rose up in his blacked out Escalade, being like, I'm not going to leave all you guys behind. We're family. We're going to roll together. And the implication was they would all roll together on SmackDown. But somewhere down on this road to SmackDown, Elektra just got kicked off and got replaced with Zelina. Am I mad at it? Not really, because I love Zelina Vega. I think she's fucking amazing. But I was really curious to see what Elektra would do on the SmackDown roster with all of them, because she had potential. Gorgeous woman too, by the way. And she could have carried them as like the speaking female part of the faction. So I don't know what I don't know if they fired her or what, but Zelina's in charge, and that's fine. She did well with Andrade. She did well with another Latin-born person. She'll do fantastic with Santos and Legado.
Absolutely. So do you want to go real quick, Katie, or?
I'm just so curious to hear your theory about this.
No, here we go.
Well, so there's a couple things. One, since Vince is not here, he texted me and he asked a couple things of me. He asked me to spit Logan Paul, which is no problem. And also spit little bitch ass Sammy, which again, no problem.
We did.
But he said he asked me to swallow
Sammy, really?
Sammy Guevara.
Not
okay. Sammy, yes. Sammy with a Y, not Sammy with an I.
Gotcha.
But he asked me to swallow Legado. And if you are a fan of the Smackin' Raw podcast, you know that there was a Chicago Italian, Chicago Hispanic feud between Vince and I during the Tony D'Angelo Legado del Fantasma feud. I have right here in a screenshot, which I can post if he tries to deny it. The feud is over. You won. LOL.
Wow.
So, seeing as Vince has rescinded the feud and given me the win, along with my boy, the Don of NXT, Tony D, who also won that feud and sent Legado packing, I will, along with Ricky, swallow the debut of Legado del Fantasma, along with Zelina Vega, because I'm happy to have her back. She's fantastic. The Elektra Lopez thing doesn't surprise me because I said he doesn't manage people well. That was why Tony took over Legado and won all those matches and did all those things. And Tony had roles and things for Elektra to do. And here he is again, just saying, hey, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. Come with me. Don't honor, the stuff that you said you would honor. Forget that and leave with me. And then he just left her on the sidelines behind. I'm pretty sure Joaquin and Raul Mendoza got in that car and they just drove off and Elektra was just standing there like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? They left her on the side of the road, which is fucked up. But love this whole new pairing. I love that they tried to pretend like we didn't know who the fuck it was because they were wearing masks.
When you have Wade Barrett on fucking commentary, like, come on.
Wade sold it. Wade sold it at the end. He goes, I knew it was them. I was like, you fucking asshole.
I can't.
Also, he's probably gone by now, but thanks for stopping in, Will, and good night. He's got to go to bed. Oh, I got that for you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Afraid I've got some bad news.
I love it. Like, I love Zelina. It's just weird to me because, like I said, I thought Elektra Lopez had a lot of potential. And she could have been out there. There had to have been some sort of disconnect somewhere. And it's weird to me too because Zelina's usually was put in Andrade's place because Andrade was number one floundering in NXT before Zelina. Zelina saved his career. And it's because Andrade needed a mouthpiece because his English wasn't that good at the time. And so I look at why the hell is Zelina in Legado del Fantasma? Because Santos Escobar is an excellent speaker. He can carry a promo. He can work a crowd. So what the fuck is Zelina's role? Now, like, Legado del Fantasma, Santos is what Andrade should have been in WWE, and he's going to prove that. Like, he can be a cornerstone of SmackDown and the roster as a whole for years to come if they use him correctly, which I think they will. He's a great looking guy. He's very well dressed. He's very well spoken, and he can go in the ring. What more do you want?
So Bakley makes a really good point. She might be there to talk for Mendoza and Wild. I'm going to call Mendoza because I can't remember what his new name is at the moment, and it's not important. Legado. However, also, we're picking up the feud that never got finished over in NXT between Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma because Hit Row got called up before we got any real resolution for that. And now Zelina's here to offset BFAB. So there's that aspect of it too.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's very, very fair. I mean, I do want to see them go at it. I'm interested to see if Hit Row comes out with a diss track for Legado, which would be amazing. Because, I mean, listen, you can say what you want about Hit Row, but they are such a different group that no one's ever really seen in pro wrestling. Because they're not actually shit rappers. They actually can rap. They actually have good musical talent. It's not like the Acclaimed who is just doing like, punchlines for the sake of punchlines and thinking that it's really cool and tricking the marks. Like, these guys actually produce music and they do music really well. And like, they dropped, who was it, Top Dollar, and then they dropped a freestyle like a couple weeks ago before SmackDown, and I was like, oh fuck, they're really good. And that's, instead of them doing that live performance like they forced them to do once, I was like, show those freestyles, those little freestyle music videos as promo segments on SmackDown. They'll be over like Rover. You'll bring in a totally different demographic, which means more money for the company. Like, I think they're going to be really good if used correctly.
Katie, you look like you want to say something.
No.
Okay. No, I agree. However, if what the Acclaimed doing is just tricking the marks, then I guess I'm a mark, because I hated the Acclaimed and they have really grown on me. And also, I grew up on that shitty John Cena rap style, and I love John Cena's battle rap and everything. So, like, what can I say?
Anybody can make a punchline, but if you like, they are like, that's the difference. They're doing punchlines, but they're not actually creating an actual freestyle on the flow of music. There is a little bit of a difference. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna swallow Chad Gable being the best professional wrestler on TV right now, in every way, shape, and form. Listen, Chad Gable is talented as fuck in ring, gets underutilized. Now they're finally using him in a variety of different ways, and it's smart.
Baby Kurt Angle.
Literally Kurt Angle's son. Character work is fantastic. Like, everything from like getting Otis, and like, I'm not like the biggest fan of Otis, but everything Chad has done with him in this tag team is good. Like, even last week when Theory got the call from Braun, and then his face just dropped that he has to face Braun Strowman, and like you said, he fucking suplexed Braun Strowman. Like, and they brought up the fact that Gable's the one who like trained Braun, and they used their past. I just love everything they're doing with Gable right now. Like, rocket back to the fucking moon, please. I'm glad he's finally getting the recognition he deserves and has earned and busted his ass for.
Yeah, Chad's fucking fantastic, entertaining as all hell, and has everything in the ring to back. Like, that's the thing that I talk about a lot, is there are a lot of WWE wrestlers who have a lot of personality and have a great gimmick, but don't have the wrestling acumen in the ring to back it up. There's a lot of wrestlers around the world who are the greatest wrestler in the world, but they don't really have a personality or a gimmick to go along with it. Like, you can tell me that Wheeler Yuta is a future star, but until he can learn how to talk on the mic, he's as much of a future star as Dean Malenko was a future star to me. Wrestler and not take off, because it, for me, in my opinion, especially where Chad Gable is, takes more than just being a really good wrestler. Like, really good wrestler guy number 6. Like, you need more. And sticking him with guys like that, great, and getting, promo work and all that will be great for guys like Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia and all that, but Chad has it all, and Chad has it now. Chad could probably out-wrestle both those guys in a professional wrestling match and wreck them in a promo beforehand and embarrass them.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, Chad's on his way to breaking out. And now that Papa H is in charge, which Triple H has shown his hand thousands of times over ever since he made the comment in a press release saying, "I'm the one who gets to pick the flavor now." Triple H is protecting his talent that he nurtured in NXT.
His NXT babies, exactly.
It's blatantly obvious now. It is blatantly obvious. If Triple H took care of you in NXT and you were able to survive this long, he's going to take care of you for the rest of your time there. And the only one that can screw it up is the talent themselves.
I agree. And to that point, we saw this from Chad Gable in NXT. Like, they put him with Jason Jordan, and he was clearly the entertainment value of that tag team, who also backed it up in the ring. Whereas, as much as I want to love Jason Jordan, and he grew with Chad Gable, he did not have the presence on the mic that Chad Gable did, which is why they put him together for American Alpha.
Ready, Willing, and Gable. It was so clever.
I have the towel, and I met them at what was it, WrestleMania at Access for WrestleMania in 33 in Orlando, and I had them sign the towel. So I have the signed towel
Oh,
somewhere.
that's awesome.
They're really dope guys. So
I'm spitting Pretty Deadly's address to open up NXT. They tried and they failed. I did not enjoy that whatsoever. It didn't do shit for me.
I'll tell you why too, but continue.
Pretty Deadly, I watched them in NXT UK up until they won the titles, and then I kind of broke off from NXT UK for a while, so I didn't really see their run there. I like everything they do on social media. I like the Yes Boy. There's aspects of Pretty Deadly I like, and I like them in ring, but there's just something about them that's missing for me, and I don't know what it is. Yes.
It's because Pretty Deadly is trying too much to be Breezango, and they're failing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
what it is. If Breezango did the same stuff Pretty Deadly was doing, they would be doing it. They would be getting over it.
Oh, they'd be killing it. Yeah,
exactly. But Pretty Deadly reminds me too much of Breezango, and that sucks for Pretty Deadly because, like you said, they don't do anything wrong. They have talent. They can speak. People hate them. They're supposed to be hated because they're heels. They kind of have this weird mixture of Hardy Boys mixed with Young Bucks in the way that they dress. You know, it's just they're missing the it factor that Breezango had. It's all they're missing.
Because Breezango could, I mean, they did the fucking Fashion Files.
The greatest thing on TV for so long.
Oh, Fashion Files is brilliant.
I miss Tyler Breeze.
That's why I wanted Maximum Male Models to succeed, because I was like, wait, this is a gateway for Tyler Breeze to come back. It's a clear gateway.
Just bring it back.
Well, Maximum Male Models are still a thing, and now they're going to need somebody, and Tyler Breeze versus LA Knight could be a entertaining fucking feud.
I didn't know I needed it until now, and I want it.
It's true, and Xavier Woods, I mean, Tyler Breeze is back on Up, Up, Down, Down.
Yep,
pretty much
and he
permanently.
was just on the bump with Big E.
He was just on the bump. He was just on the bump, and they did call him Tyler Breeze, right?
I didn't watch it, but
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
assuming they did.
And he just was in New York for Comic-Con with Xavier Woods and Big E.
Either
Xavier Woods saved Tyler Breeze, which I can see Xavier Woods doing, and be like, bring me Tyler Breeze. He doesn't have to wrestle, blah, blah, blah. Or they are slowly creeping Tyler Breeze back into the fold.
Well, yeah, because Xavier was like, listen, all my friends are gone off my gaming channel. Let me keep one. Cesaro left. Adam Cole left. Tyler Breeze, you fired. I want him back, please.
Mia Yim fired. All of the BRE was
like the party, the main four. Three of them were on.
I've never seen a more entertaining group of people play Uno for 3 hours straight.
Literally, the four of them together was magic. That was some of my favorite shit. Just the
and
four
I'd
of
watch
them together.
all of it.
So, I'm so happy Tyler Breeze is back. I'm literally watching Battle of the Brands every Thursday when it comes out because that shit's so fucking funny to me.
That's the power of wrestling. They literally did a Battle of the Brands on a fucking emulator for SmackDown vs. Raw, and then 2K was like, "Oh shit, we should probably put that in the game."
Yeah.
And to speak to the point of me spitting Pretty Deadly, we went directly into spending more time talking about how much we'd rather have Tyler Breeze than we did talking about Pretty Deadly themselves. So
Tyler Breeze is
that tells you everything you need to know about that segment on NXT if you didn't catch it. Exactly. Ricky, spit or swallow?
I've talked about Legado. Oh, obviously, I don't know. We haven't swallowed this yet. The best act in all of wrestling right now, the honorary Uce Sami Zayn, does it again. Multiple segments on SmackDown, killed every one of it. I hate to say, but Sammy is the most entertaining thing in professional wrestling in America at the moment. Nothing tops it. He got a Sami Zayn, you had Triple H start the show. You had the Bloodline come out. You had Logan Paul come out. And who did the crowd want to hear more than anybody? More than Roman Reigns, more than Paul Heyman, more than anybody else on the Bloodline? They wanted Sammy to speak. Okay, like that's a huge deal.
Mhm.
Okay, it just shows you how good he is in this role. It's to be honest with you, it's astonishing how well he's flourishing. But I love every moment of it. I love it, every single moment of this going on.
And we swallowed Sammy and the Bloodline on Raw, and now we've got them again on SmackDown. Katie, I'm gonna let you talk about it because I took like a shit ton of notes, so I don't want to like take everything that you might say on what happens. So,
With like, I've been saying it, like Sammy is like the key person in the Bloodline right now. Adding Solo did a lot, and it's working. But I keep saying you need to watch in the background for Jay. And now shit's literally rising to the surface with Jay and Sammy, and it is the most interesting thing to me. The PTSD is so fucking real for this man. He couldn't even look Roman in the eyes. That is how much mental abuse
That was
Roman put
beautiful.
through this man. And the way that it just progressed throughout SmackDown, Sammy calling Jay a hothead and Roman being like, you know what? Yeah, you have been a fucking hothead, and we've been handling it too long. Sammy, you know what? It's your problem now. And that cost him a tag match. And I'm just waiting and so excited for when the Bloodline blows up and we get Jay and Sammy in a match, and then Jimmy's gonna be torn because it's my brother, but like I actually like Sammy because he's not a dick to me like Jay's been since I've been back, kind of thing. It's a soap. This is a soap opera. Wrestling itself is a soap opera, but this is a fucking soap opera.
I don't know who's writing their stuff, whether it's Roman having an influence on it, or they have probably the best writer backstage. But for the last 700 and some odd days, the whole Roman back and Bloodline saga that we've been through for the past couple of years, they have not missed once.
Mm-mm.
Not once. You start out with Roman coming back. Roman adds Paul. Roman tries to bring in Jay. Jay doesn't want to do it, but Roman forces Jay to do it, which elevates Jay to heights we have never seen Jay Uso do.
Main event Uso
by himself. His brother comes for a save. You highlight the brother now. The brother falls in line. They're running rampant everywhere. They take all the titles. Now you bring in Sammy, who wants to kind of just ride along and get invited to the cookout. He finally gets the invite to the cookout, and then you add the person that they've been cultivating in NXT for the longest time, Solo, out of nowhere. In a span of 2.5 years, they have hit every mark and remain relevant.
yes. So, well, we talked about we're spitting Logan Paul, like,
yeah,
and I think that they fucked up with Logan Paul because I feel like Logan Paul, instead of saying Jay was the other tribal chief, which didn't really make sense to me, I think he should have said it was Sammy. Because if he had said, or the tribal chief Sammy, the way all of you guys act around him, then could have led Jay off for disrespecting Roman, and then led to Jay snapping on Roman and saying, you see, look what he's doing to our group. Look, now they're even saying like he's better than, and they still could have gone down the same route. But I think Logan going for tribal chief Sammy would have been better than Jay, just because the issue has been between Sammy and Jay. It hasn't been so much with Roman until this point, and that's also where it's going to be going forward. I don't know if they're going to bring it back around to Roman versus Jay again. Possibly, we'll see. But Heyman calling him the Mr. T Cyndi Lauper of this era. You're just a celebrity that we're bringing in to sell tickets, which is true.
That wasn't a promo. That was a shoot, by the way, because Heyman was like, no, I'm just going to tell him how I really feel.
I tweeted out the picture of Natasha and the Hulk with Sammy on Natasha's head and Roman on the Hulk's head. The way Sammy came in and tried to diffuse the tension between Roman and Jay, because Roman all of a sudden just got mad at Jay and got in his face over what Logan Paul had to say. We got Solo getting a win over Ricochet. Yep. Then Sammy calling Jay a hothead in the back, and Jay being a fucking hothead, and Roman's like, no, he's right, you are. And Sammy, that's your problem to deal with now. So you handle that because I'm sick of his shit. And then the New Day coming in and preying on Hothead Jey Uso.
It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen.
I love that.
Saying that Sammy's not the stepdad, he's the dad that stepped up.
Stepped up.
Oh my god.
Xavier Woods is fantastic.
Sammy challenging them to a 6-man tag, and then Braun Strowman being the New Day's partner.
I will spit that only because Braun Strowman should have danced with the New Day after the win.
I agree. Reason. Well, fuck Braun Strowman.
So that's a Raquel.
Yeah. We'll talk about her too. But yeah, dude, it was so good. Like the whole thread through the show and the way that they broke it up so it was a thread through the show. Yep. Fucking fantastic. SmackDown tonight was off the charts. It really was. Yeah. And shout out to Kofi Weedston. What's up, man?
Here's my one thing as well. Like you said, the story is not about Jay. I think the story is Jay. Because if you think about it from long-term booking here, Jay was main event Jey Uso. We made him main event Jey Uso. And Jay became instantly, after a while, also by default, because he was the first one recruited, he was the right-hand man. The person next in line after Roman. Now Sammy comes in to all of this fanfare. Now Jay thinks his position is threatened. He's probably taken also a lot of cocaine before every TV show because he's off the fucking charts. I'm just like, calm down. So I think that is the story. The story is Jay is being threatened because he thinks Sammy is taking his position in the bloodline. And everybody is going to be shocked when Sammy's the first one getting kicked out by Roman himself. Because it's going to be family over everything, making Sammy the hottest babyface in the world, but also Jay keeping his spot. Or you can switch it and have Jay get kicked out, and Jay goes on this massive babyface run.
Okay.
But the story is Jay is threatened by Sammy getting so much power in a family that he's not even a part of.
See, I was hoping for, and I talked about this, and I'll make it quick. Solo coming up, siding with Sammy, was to drive a wedge into the bloodline and break them up so that Solo could get revenge on Roman and his brothers for leaving him, which is why he was Solo Sikoa in the first place.
Ooh,
and then eventually getting Solo versus Roman,
which would be so good,
doing his thing is what I was hoping for. But I also see where you're coming for. I just, as of right now, I'm focused on the Sammy J feud. I thought it was going to lead to Sammy, like you said, getting kicked out, teaming with KO being the ones to beat the Usos for the belts.
Also possible. Champions. Also very, very possible.
So
you're also thinking about it. The tag division is becoming very, very crowded. At the moment, you just brought up Legado. Hit Row is a pretty awesome tag team for right now, especially Top Dollar, who's a fucking monster. The Viking Raiders are coming back, which, by the way, that's my next swallow. Is Sarah Logan is that promo from SmackDown? I'm almost sure of it.
It's definitely.
I could smell her through my TV. It's definitely. I saw those dreads. I could smell them.
So true, but so fucked up.
So I believe what's probably going to happen is that, because there's also the rumors that there are new belts coming down the road. I think those belts will be unified to tag belts, and the Usos will travel to both shows, and the tag team division will be a major division and not a split division that it has been for a while.
Well, they can travel because there is no brand split, so it doesn't matter. Everyone can go everywhere.
There is a brand split.
There is not a brand split.
There is a brand split.
Okay. For the purpose of the Smacking It Raw podcast and my own fucking sanity, because if there was a true brand split, then they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and they're going to drive me insane. I'm already bald. I don't have any more hair to lose. I'll start ripping out my beard hair. There cannot.
Don't do that. It's diagnosable, by the way. I am a therapist.
Yeah. So there is no brand split for my own sanity, and we'll leave that there.
There is a brand split.
Katie, spit or swallow.
I'm going to swallow everything Bianca Bailey. I loved the contract signing. I literally forgot what it was called. Everything with that, the lead up to, Bailey just wanted it, or Bianca didn't want the rest of Damage Control out there, and Bailey's like, you know what, fine, we'll play by your rules. But having Damage Control take out Bliss and Asuka in the back, smart. Bailey yanking Bianca by the fucking ponytail, like Scorpion, like get over here kind of shit. I literally thought like Bianca got fucking whiplash from that. Like, holy shit, she pulled her so hard.
They do a good job sewing that ponytail in every week.
Oh my god. The ponytail is a little character in this whole thing. It's great. But I like this. I was saying before, like, the whole Judgment Day stuff, that Rhea was going to be the one to take the belt off Bianca. Because, like, Bailey was still gone. You didn't really have any other women. Rhea was like a heel. It made sense. But then Judgment Day came along, and now she's fucking Dom Mysterio or whatever the hell's going on there.
It's called pegging.
I know. So now it's not going to be that. But I have a strong inkling that, like, Bailey might take the belt off Bianca. If not here, then soon. Like, Bianca's losing the belt to Bailey in some capacity. I don't know if it'll be at Extreme Rules, but it's going to be soon. Because you don't have any other women really built up to face Bianca right now.
Which means you also don't have any women built up to face Bailey either. Also, based on theory of wrestling of opposite momentum, who was the final picture at the end of Raw?
That's why I'm saying it's not going to be Extreme Rules, but like it's gonna happen. Probably I don't know. Wait, Survivor Series maybe.
Plus, now Survivor Series they'll be in War Games.
Oh fuck! I forgot about War Games already. Damn it!
How can you forget?
There's so much happening in the next 2 months with WWE. It is very hard for my brain to comprehend everything.
Yeah, shout out to a real Khan, aka Nick Khan, who's doing the Lord's work in WWE.
I give all that credit to Triple H and none of that to Nick Khan.
You'd be surprised. Do your research on Nick Khan. He's a lot more connected to everything than you think, and he's been that way for a while.
I like to have him be the scapegoat for why everyone got fired and not give him any credit for any of the good that happens. That makes me happy. It's kind of like there not being a brand split.
It's quite the opposite. Actually, there is a brand split. Name the last time you saw Raquel on Raw. What about Shotzi on Raw?
Okay, but I can name a handful of other wrestlers who I've seen on Raw and SmackDown.
Do you mean the storylines that are making people money? Yes, you're going to bring your big superstars on both brands. That's why the Bloodline goes everywhere. Also, because they have all the titles and also Damage Control. Your bigger stars who are creating your major storylines are going to pretty much go wherever they want. That essentially right now is Damage Control and the Bloodline. Your only two big groups that are going back and forth.
And we've seen KO and we've seen the Street
Johnny
Profits
was on SmackDown, KO
was
on
Johnny
SmackDown.
But they go wherever they want. That's the point. There is no official real brand split. Even if it is one-offs, there is no these are Raw superstars, these are SmackDown superstars. You stay on your own brand.
No, they do acknowledge them as Raw or SmackDown superstars, even if they are on separate brands. Or if they go traveling, they still are announced as different superstars.
I don't believe it.
I do.
Bianca, yes, big swallow. I actually kind of hope she wins, or I really hope that Bailey wins. I think that would be, as much as I've loved Bianca's run as champion, I kind of feel like we've come to the climax of that. I don't know where we really go from here. Like, we're going to go to War Games. Would it make more sense to have all of the gold on the heel side going into War Games? And who their fourth is going to be, possibly Nikki Cross. We'll have to see. But like you said, the contract signing, which are normally fucking contract signings, very entertaining, good shit. I am going to swallow. So I'm spitting Grayson Waller just in general as a person. Yeah. And the Grayson Waller effect and the fact that we have like the 20th fucking talk show. However, the announcement of the spin the wheel, make the deal, and the pick your poison match where Cora gets to pick an opponent for Roxy and Roxy gets to pick an opponent for Cora.
Oh, yes.
That sounds like fun. That, and it can be from any brand that they want. It does not have to be an NXT opponent. So that I'm very interested in. I love that. Even though I hate Grayson Waller, he went to go check to make sure that the guy under the cloak before he spun the wheel wasn't black. So he knew it wasn't Apollo Crews. And then that security was so occupied with Cora and Roxanne that they weren't able to save Waller, who then got pulled under the ring and had his eyes gouged out, or I don't know if maybe he got slapped in the face with Apollo's dick. Like, I'm not sure how that happened to his eyes. It was very Jacob Goodnight from See No Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just so aggressive.
But yeah, no, that whole segment is a swallow for me. Just Grayson as a person is a spit.
It also like brings up the fact of like there are a lot of women they could pick for each other. Like, I was thinking it's probably not going to happen, but you could have Bailey be the opponent of one of them, be the opponent of Cora or Roxy, because they, if you look at their Twitters, like it's the three of them and like Indy and all of them kind of just like interacting with each other. So I think that would be interesting, but no one else in NXT really, like, I think it would be, and the fact that he said it can be from any brand, I'm expecting someone from Raw and someone from SmackDown. Natty's probably gonna make an appearance again.
Oh, fuck.
I know. Maybe that's who Roxy will pick for Cora, since Natty beat her last time.
Or that's who Cora picks for Roxy. Because,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, I can't beat her, so you can't beat her, and then Roxy beats her.
Well, didn't Cora just tweet it at Damage Control was tonight?
Oh, then I haven't seen. Then I didn't see it.
Or sometime in the near future. I don't know. I Cora as a heel does not do it for me at all. Like,
Really?
It's like a girl who's trying to play wrestler to me. She doesn't. I'm not sold. I am not sold on her at all. Which makes, I mean, like, she's not a strong heel for Roxy's clear babyface. I think Cora, like, you know what it is? And it's still the problem, even though she ditched the skateboard, but I still see the dumb little skateboard that she used to ride in on, playing like her Avril Lavigne cosplay. And I can't get all. I mean, she wore all black. She tried that Die Rocky Die promo that she tried to do like a month or so ago, right after she turned heel, and it just didn't hit for me at all.
Because I actually like her better as a heel than I liked her as a babyface. I was not behind her as a babyface. When she got a little edge, it worked better for me. I get what you're saying. I do agree. There definitely is some misses there, but like you said, the Avril Lavigne cosplay like she came in with Gigi Dolan and they had that weird remix of Sweet Dreams that I really like that tag team. I thought they would make a great heel tag team together. And then they put Gigi in with JC and sent her off to go be a babyface and ride a skateboard, and the love story with her boyfriend who got fired and all of that stuff. Like, they lost me, kind of got me back with her little climb to fight Natty and all of that and go towards Mandy. And then it all just kind of fell apart. But promo wise and just presence wise, something about her appeals more to me as a heel than it did as a babyface.
And I'm just totally the opposite. I think her presence to me doesn't scream I'm a heel, besides the fact that she wears all black. You know, like, her presence to me screams babyface. And maybe it's because I've seen her up against like bigger size women. Like when Natty came, Natty's clearly the heel here. And she carries herself like a heel. And that's not a knock on Cora. Natty's been doing this pretty much since she came out of the womb. She was pretty much forced to be doing it. And then also, I also have to keep in mind that Cora's like, what, less than 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of hit and misses. It's like I can't picture Cora Jade as a heel. I also couldn't picture Xia Brookside as a heel either. You know, it's one of those things that they're both young and they both need time to kind of develop mentally in the wrestling game, and also for a little bit sometimes physically as well, to kind of get that presence physically about them where you can be like, I can see them going back and forth. But for right now, she doesn't carry herself also as well, like the way she moves. She doesn't carry herself like a heel to me.
I gotcha. We're on you. Spit or
We're
swallow,
on me.
Ricky?
We're gonna spit or swallow. There's been a lot going on. I'll tag, but I do have my own swallow. But I did want to tag on the Bianca and Bailey segment because they finally started telling the story of why they're fighting, which is what made the contract signing brilliant. Also because Bianca finally had her best promo rebuttal that she's ever had. I was like, wow, whoever wrote that for her hit the nail completely. Where she was like, Bailey, you were trying to be somebody you're not, and I'm always authentically myself. And I was like, there's the character. There it is. Finally, we figured it out. We figured it out. But I will swallow Veer going back to NXT. I was like, great, 2 giant brown men about to be a major tag team again. I'm ready for them to fuck shit up.
I'm with you on that. Indashir is back.
Yeah.
I don't know how. We'll have to see how Veer plays out with this new version of Sangha, because this is not who they were when they were together before.
Well, yeah, they didn't speak.
Well, that, and it's also not who Veer has been that we've seen him on the main roster. So curious to see what his character is going to be and how he incorporates with like really big, mean bear, but like overly nice, polite Sangha, who's kind of helping the little guy, and we'll see.
I love Sangha.
Katie, spit or swallow?
I'm swallowing Willow Nightingale. She got the win on Dynamite. She doesn't have a graphic yet, and she's still not signed, which is some bullshit. Whatever. Fuck Tony Khan. She had a great match.
MJF.
Huh?
All that money went to MJF, obviously.
Well, Max is a rat bastard. That's why. She had a banger match with Jade on Battle of the Belts for it's literally just like a second hour of Dynamite or Rampage. She's bringing good things to this division. You can say, like Britt and like everyone else, but like Willow has been like a very like good component in this division that has been floundering for the 3 years that they've been a company, going on 4. But like Willow is adorable. It just always has a smile on her face. People have just been saying like nothing but the nicest things about her. And like people who like personally know her, and they're just like, this is what she needs. Like, this is the recognition she fucking deserves. And I'm all about giving women that time. And if her being in this division helps, fucking please. And I really thought she was going to take the belt off Jade or whatever. It's probably going to be Nyla. I just don't want Jade to hold the title anymore. I don't think she needs it.
I mean, Jade can do whatever she wants in my book. She is one of those people that just gets that pass because there's no one for her to face. Jade should be, in my eyes, Jade is the real women's champion of AEW. That's just me. And I think she's a big fish in a small pond, to be honest with you. I think she's starting to outgrow the competition that she's facing or not really facing on a week-to-week basis. But I mean, that's also the problem with the women's division in AEW. What's up, Clark Street Wrestling? They've been following us lately. Is that the people that are really good and talented that could help the division, Tony Khan just refuses to sign. Like, how long did it take for Tony to officially sign Thunder Rosa? After how many banger matches after she main evented with Britt Baker in a fantastic, brutal, it was like a lights out match or some shit like that. Yeah, in a brutal fucking match, which put Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa on the map as probably their best matches, their best matches in their careers, and she still wasn't signed.
Yep.
You know, there's very minimal investment in the AEW women's division. And that's a problem. I mean, you can sign Paige or Saraya or whatever you want, still not going to get eyes on the product.
I don't know. We'll see, because I'm actually, so with the Jade thing that you said, I think they have to be very careful because they don't want to fall into the same trap that Goldberg fell into, where they had no way of beating her. I do feel like Katie's right. Very soon, she needs to take a loss so that she can fall into that role of a women's wrestler who is not Goldberg, who is not undefeated, who can go out and have matches and take losses and get wins and do things. And she needs to start moving up towards the Toni Storms, the Thunder Rosas. You know, she had the match with Athena, but more competitive matches with big top stars. I'm swallowing everything women on both Rampage and Dynamite along with you, Katie. So the 6-woman tag with Willow winning, Jade's match, Saraya and Britt getting into it after Britt told Saraya that she's not medically cleared, which we found out she is medically cleared. And
by an AEW doctor.
Listen, we've had all of these wrestlers cleared, and because it's AEW and because it's Paige, everyone's like, oh, but her neck, and it's not a real doctor. And it's this was the ringside doctor for WWE that they have hired, who is now over in AEW as their medical professional. And I honestly don't believe that AEW is going to clear someone if there is a very real chance that it is going to end her career should she wrestle or paralyze her for the rest of her life. So it's weird to me that everyone's shitting on Saraya getting back in the ring after we were celebrating Daniel Bryan and Edge and all of these people making their returns. I want to be happy for Saraya.
I want to be happy for her too. The difference with them is that because we know the documented stories of Edge and Daniel Bryan, and the fact that it wasn't WWE that cleared him. WWE was the final hurdle. In particular, Edge went to like 3 different doctors before he got cleared by WWE. I believe the same thing with D-Bry as well. And so it seems weird that the only person that we know of publicly that cleared Saraya came from the confines of AEW and nowhere else. I'm pretty sure she is probably medically cleared by a person independent of professional wrestling in AEW in particular. But I think the fact that we haven't heard anything about it, that she's decided to keep it private, which is her prerogative because it's her medical history. I think that's why there's a lot of skepticism behind it as well. And the fact that the women's division is lacking there.
We were hearing that she was cleared when she was still with WWE, and we were waiting for her to make her comeback, and she couldn't get past that final hurdle of the WWE doctors clearing her for whatever reason, which is, like you said, that's their prerogative. Whatever they wanted that they weren't seeing, or maybe there was some way to go, and now in AEW she's reached that final hurdle. But there were, I remember specifically, rumors that she was cleared and ready to go while still under contract to WWE, which is why everyone was kind of waiting for it to happen around Royal Rumble and stuff, and she just never showed up. And she was even talking about it on social media and kind of alluding to it, and it just never happened, which also might lead to, the whole "a boss that listens to me" line that she dropped 2 weeks ago or whatever. But I want to be happy for her. Also, we had Sky Blue and Madison Rain versus Ty J, Ty Conti, and they started that on Dynamite. And then we had the match. So we actually had 2 women's matches tonight. We had 1 on Dynamite, so 3 women's matches in AEW in 1 week. That has to be a fucking record at this point. So.
unless there's like a pay-per-view, and even then that's kind of
stop it.
Like,
shout out to AEW for giving us 3 women's matches, even though you had to put on an whole extra hour on Rampage just to get a second one. But you can't do that on Dynamite, even though that was an extended show.
But you can name your Dynamites every 3 weeks, something different.
Mm-hmm. I'm spitting Jurassic Jim defeating Andre Chase. I am not a Von Wagner fan. I do not need Von Wagner in this ladder match. Prehistoric Paul, Jurassic Jim, Ancient Andy, all the different things we call him to disrespect him. Not a fan. Shout out to Thea, though, because she had Robert Stone up on her shoulders and picked him up for a body slam. Then afterwards, we get Wesley coming in, trying to spread the curse of Riddle to Mello and injure Mello like he did the Don, which is some bullshit. But that
Don
whole
needs a gimmick
segment,
change.
Ice Age Ivan, that works too.
Ooh, I like that.
All of these things, I would much rather. I think Thea and Blonde Bo Dallas, as I call him, and Andre Chase in that ladder match would make for better spots and a far more entertaining time than anything I'm going to see from Von Wagner.
It would. It'd be so fun. I love Thea. She's been like Chase U and everything with that. I was not a fan of it first because I was like, okay, it's just like Andre Chase is just a fucking like football coach, like kind of teaching thing. Like we've seen that before. But then like Blondo Dallas like kind of got a personality, and then like Andre Chase started just fucking swearing at people all the time.
He became Bob Knight.
And then you added Thea Hale and had this whole thing of like she's literally out of high school, going to college, and you have her pick Chase U. And everything with that, it's just made it that much fucking better. And the fact that she's from Pittsburgh, so I have to love her. It's just everything with that is so good. And with all of them being involved in that ladder match, you're right, it would have made it 10 times fucking better. But no, you have to have some kind of big man in the ladder match to take all the beating, which, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Von Wagner has gotten the curse. Von Wagner will not last because he got cursed, and he is placed with the manager that sends people to their final resting place of being future endeavor, known as Robert Stone. There are barely many people who survive Robert Stone if they are with him for over 2 months, and Von Wagner's been there for like over 2 months, and he's not lasting. I'm sorry. I am very, very sorry. I do want to also swallow Chase U as a whole, because honestly, when I saw the man formerly known as Harlem Bravado, because that's what his name was in Evolve, it was Harlem Bravado. He was just this sniveling piece of shit guy. And then he got signed and it became Andre Chase. I was like, how the fuck is he going to make it? And then he became Andre Chase and pretty much started out being like the Bob Knight, and now Chase U, it's pretty much like a subculture of NXT and the PC where they have their Chase U section. It is a total college thing, and it's brilliant. Like, when they return to takeovers, there better be a Chase U section in every arena that they go.
Oh yeah. Dude, Chase U is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I need a Chase U shirt. I need a Chase U flag. Like, I will rep Chase U all day, every day.
I should have went there for college. Fuck.
Seriously, I want to learn by Andre Chase. Andre Chase just reminds me of a younger Bob Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Where Bob Knight was just, if you didn't get anything right, he's gonna curse you out. He's gonna throw shit at you. He's gonna kick you out of the arena because that's just how he operates.
Ricky, spit or swallow?
Oh boy, it's getting pretty slim pickings now. Slim pickings. Let me see. I am going to. What am I going to do? I'm going to go back to SmackDown, and I'm going to swallow the Paul Heyman evisceration of Logan Paul yet again. Because Roman said, wise men educate him, and Paul said, here's your lesson for today.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing against Logan Paul. He's trying, and you can see that he's kind of getting it. His pacing and his promos are better, but he is just so outmatched by everybody in that ring on the mic. By leaps and bounds. And the fact that he is out there by himself on his own, man, that's trial by fire. And I don't know if I'd be able to do that, especially going up against Paul.
No.
Against Paul Heyman, like the mic master of mic masters. I don't know how he does it and doesn't get his feelings hurt every single week.
Yeah, no.
Brilliant.
This is not someplace you should have put Logan Paul for. Like, I get the idea behind it, but this was a terrible idea because he is not going to walk out of this with anything positive, unless he turns heel afterwards, which hopefully he does because he's a natural heel.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, he does not play the babyface well at all.
No.
I am interested in the match though when it happens. Like as much as I shit on Logan Paul because I think he's like everything horrible about social media a lot of the time. And just because he screams entitlement, but that's also another random story for another time. He's got a lot of talent in that ring. It's kind of scary.
I agree.
He's got a lot of like he performed at an above average level on the two biggest shows on WWE's calendar, which is wildly astonishing. There's never been a celebrity like that at all. It's very surprising.
Pat McAfee.
That was also on the same show.
Yeah, but
and Pat McAfee is also some sort of athlete. Yes, punter, but athlete nonetheless.
Fair enough.
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny was very surprised, but I think Logan Paul beats him. Easy by leaps and bounds. You know, Bad Bunny did a destroyer at WrestleMania, but Logan Paul got away and got out of Dallas alive by hitting a 3 Amigos at WrestleMania.
To be fair, I have not actually watched a Logan Paul match. Every time he's wrestled, I've walked out of the room to go smoke or take a piss or something because Logan Paul was there. So I cannot give I've heard great things. I cannot give a fair, unbiased opinion about his in-ring work because I have actually not watched anything he has done on purpose.
You would be impressed if you take your bias from Logan Paul out of it, and I get it, but like you would be impressed. What impressed me, the SummerSlam match, he did a leapfrog from the top rope onto the announce table, and initially he was at the wrong angle to hit it clean, and he was able to contort his body midair so that he landed clean,
like RVD
or a Montez. But I was like, wow, that was very impressive.
Okay. Katie, spit or swallow?
Not so much like the mic work, but Yuta and that rat bastard MJF. I'm kind of digging this right now, and this is coming from someone who cannot fucking stand MJF, or I used to hate that man with a burning passion. A former co-host of mine from another show was obsessed and would make it very apparent every time I tried to talk, and I hated him for it. But I've kind of grown to love MJF a little bit. The match with Yuta was great because Max, and as much shit as I give him, Max is really good in the ring. Yuta's also very good in the ring because Yuta has Claudio and Mox and Brian he's under their wing, so obviously he's going to be fantastic, and he was already good beforehand. That's why he got put into that. And the whole, I don't know why they started, why they're doing it now, but the whole conflict in MJF, his internal conflict of he kind of wanted to shake Yuta's hand after the match, but then Lee Moriarty comes along and attacks him, and Max gets in oh my god, Stokely? I literally Bivens. I was like, which one is it? I couldn't.
No, it's Stokely.
Remember. Is it Stokely?
It's Malcolm Bivens in WWE. It's Stokely Hathaway everywhere else.
He's great. Love him, but I couldn't remember his name for some reason. But Max got in his face and he's like, I didn't tell you to do this. What the fuck is this? And then he kind of hesitated putting on the ring and knocking out Yuta. It's actually kind of fucking good. And I don't know why, and I'm actually mad that I'm liking MJF stuff right now.
It's really good, but you left out the most important parts of this entire segment that made it a big swallow for me. William Regal on commentary, referring to himself as ODV, an ordinary decent villain, and explain the difference. And then after the diamond ring, getting off commentary and reaching in and getting the Nutzzz.
Oof.
I popped harder for William Regal grabbing the brass knucks than I popped for anything on Dynamite that night.
I know you did.
I can't hate MJF. I will forever love MJF. It's a Long Island thing. We have to stick together. So
fair.
Yeah, I just, it's not in me. And even if I did hate MJF, I probably can't MJF because every time I listen to MJF, I'm like, he's fucking right.
But this whole thing, the story, the match, all of it, fucking great. Probably the best thing that happened on Dynamite as a whole. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to swallow Damon Kemp on NXT because Damon Kemp gets better this week with his promo and really served up some devious shit with the stipulations for his match against Julius, where he's like, no, listen, it's not about you. Stop making this about you. It's not if I win, you leave. It's if I win, your brother leaves. And if you win, your brother can get a second shot against me, but I'm taking away the thing you care about the most in your brother when I beat you. On top of the fact that you had that's a Gargle that was separate. Schism. Because you have me now curious about the red hooded girl. And
I know. I need to
yeah. Oh yeah, maybe she's the White Rabbit.
They beat up Grimes. Fuck Joe Gacy. I'm curious. Yeah, what if the White Rabbit is the red hoodie girl and it's Nikki Cross?
Or what if the White Rabbit is part of Joe Gacy? Triple H has gone on record and said it is somebody that we haven't talked about yet.
If it's Joe Gacy, I'm gonna be so pissed. That will be the biggest fucking flop for me because he has ruined Joe Gacy for me. I love Joe Gacy, and it would be ruined for me at that point if that's what they do.
It could be a whole faction of people. There's also the running theory that it's the Firefly Funhouse come to life.
Yeah,
I've said that too.
Because now all of your people are back.
I like that idea.
Or there also is potentially Alistair at play as well.
No, Alistair's not coming back in any way, shape, or form.
He has said that he was not released from his contract.
Said, I am not released. I'm staying. I'm just taking an actual break.
We've seen wrestlers lie on Twitter tons of times. So
he went on an Instagram live video and literally shit on dirt sheets for like a solid half hour and been like, they don't fucking care about me or you.
We have heard wrestlers lie tons of times before, and people in media have lied tons of times before about their appearances or their contracts or stuff with anything just to keep some sort of secret. So I take it again with a grain of salt. I'll believe it when the White Rabbit shows himself or themselves because it could be a faction
tomorrow.
Supposedly, like I don't put too much stock in that either because they put up dates before and we were like, oh, it's going to happen tomorrow, and then nothing. So,
but I would like to believe that Aleister Black's not that kind of person. Something about him just makes me want to trust him as a whole. But Damon Kemp winning me over as a heel on NXT is a big swallow because I have not been about this guy up until this whole segment and point. So that's my swallow. Ricky, spit or swallow?
Spit or swallow. I mean, semi-spit Diamond Mine because they have totally lost direction once Malcolm Bivens left. But I will swallow just for the sake of being nice and cordial. John Moxley has just re-upped with AEW, signed a 5-year extension, and his role is going to be expanding to mentoring and coaching, which I kind of found very interesting. But if that's what he wants to do, hey, more power to him. I have nothing against Mox. He's had a very interesting wrestling career, I will tell you that. And the fact that he's willing to try to mentor and coach people, I'm interested to see how that goes.
And he's not allowed to do outside of AEW and their partners, i.e. New Japan. So basically, Tony Khan basically spoiled the match between him and Nick Gage tomorrow night.
Wow.
Because he can't go to AEW anymore. It's like I think it's in like the first paragraph. It's like he now has to be like AEW and like their partners, and then it's like New Japan.
Of all the people to put that clause in the contract, you do it to him, who could be an ambassador for your whole brand.
Yeah. Well,
I see put the lower talent there and be like, you can only be on AEW and our partners to kind of help build them up and also build your brand, because I feel like that's the smart way to do. The people who are already made people, your Moxes, your Jerichos, your Brian Danielsons, even your Adam Coles and all of those motherfuckers. Have them go over places. That helps bring other people in because they are known faces. But like your smaller talent that you're trying to cultivate, say, hey, you can't go anywhere except for here. But to lock him in like that, I mean, he is AEW champion, so I also get that as well.
I was gonna say, I think the whole point is like you can go to New Japan, maybe Impact if they're still kind of
is Impact really a partner,
but he doesn't want him going out on the indies doing deathmatch shit, getting hurt. Now that he is basically the focal point of the company, they've lost CM Punk. The Elite is suspended. Punk
maybe
is
if they would
suspended.
have just gave Mox his vacation, this would happen.
Put the title on Brian, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm with that. I'm also the Mox Hangman stare down after Hangman defeated Moulin Rouge. Enjoyed that as well. So I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. Katie, I think we're going to go around. So this one and then one more. So pick your last two. We'll go around after this round one more time.
Okay. I'm going to swallow. Gotta narrow it down. You know what? Just for fun, everything Wardlow.
Where's the leak, ma'am?
Listen, I love Wardlow. And making him TNT champion, smart. Making him in a tag team with Samoa Joe, smart. I love it. Having them now, we're basically it's just now like Warjo, FTR, and then I can't remember like the name of the other people. Fuck.
Gates of Agony.
Thank you. God, it was gonna bother me. They just need a fourth person because it's Brian Cage, Khan, and Toleona, who love him. He's great. I've seen him in Vegas. So they would just need a fourth person, and then you can have that feud go on for a while and keep that on like Rampage or whatever. But as long as I get Wardlow, I'm fine.
Big meaty men slapping meat. Wardlow versus Cage
works every time.
Also, the way Wardlow pinned Cage, I know had you jealous.
Every fucking time, it's him and Rhea. I'm over this. Like,
but let's just throw all our thirst in because along with you thirsting over that, I was thirsting over the fact that I had Xia Li and Shotzi in a match tonight.
I literally have as a swallow Xia on TV.
So
what? Don't talk about Xia like that.
No, it's a swallow.
No,
She's happy.
Oh, swallow. Yeah.
Yes.
I love
Xia Li.
Yes.
So we'll make your swallow thirst for the evening. The Wardlow thirst, the Shotzi and Xia thirst in general. I am going to swallow the Acclaim celebrates National Scissoring Day. I enjoyed the shit out of that segment, and I didn't really think I was going to. Anthony's got a lot of experience scissoring, which pops me hard when he said that. Called himself the Sultan of Scissoring. We have the Sultan of Spitter Swallow. They have the Sultan of Scissoring. Mm-hmm. They got the giant gold scissors out. They did the whole joke about not running with scissors when Anthony Bowens is running around with the giant scissors. The Acclaim knocking down Sterling, accepting Swerve's challenge. The only thing I'm spitting were the stupid rock, paper, scissors jokes that they tried to do with Swerve and him, where it's like, oh, I've got a rock. Oh, well, I've got paper. That was fucking corny. But everything else I enjoyed on that segment.
Swerve.
Listen, I had to go back and watch it because I was trying to watch the new episode of Chucky. So I was like flipping back and forth between commercials. So then I had to go back and fully watch it because I was like, fuck. I knew it would happen during National Scissoring Day. But I love Anthony Bowens. Max Caster is just like kind of there for me. I'm more like Team Anthony Bowens. He started the whole scissor me daddy ass thing, which got them way fucking over. He also just seems like a fantastic guy and the first openly gay AEW champion. Big fucking shout out. I just love Anthony Bowens and this tag team who are AEW homegrown talent and have been there for one of the longest teams you have. They have the most wins and like they set all their accolades and everything. But I fucking love the Acclaimed now. I'm in.
Mhm. No, I'm with you. Ricky, last spit or swallow?
Last spit or swallow? You know what? I'm going to leave it up to you guys, whether it's a spit or swallow. The brand new announced teams that have been put together for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Now, we know we have returning Kathy Kelly, which is, who doesn't love that? But you now have, in the absence of Pat McAfee, because Pat McAfee will return,
Mhm.
in the absence of Pat McAfee, you have Wade getting called up to work with Cole. Everything's a two-man booth. No more three-man booths. Everything's a two-man. Vic Joseph stays in NXT, bringing in Shucky Ducky Quack Quack himself, Booker T, as commentator. You have Kevin Patrick, I think his name is.
Mhm.
Kevin Patrick with Corey on Raw, which is the weirdest pairing in the world, in my opinion. And they let Jimmy Smith go as well, which I was very, very spit with that because I was like, Jimmy wasn't doing anything wrong.
He
No,
was
Jimmy
doing
was great.
fine.
Yeah, I was like, Jimmy did good. They put Byron backstage again, which kind of sucks for Byron.
I think they honestly did that because him and Corey just can't fucking be around each other because that was the most annoying part for Raw for the.
I love them fighting on commentary all the time.
It just is like I try not to listen to commentary a lot unless it's Excalibur and William Regal flirting. That's the only time I'll listen. But like it was just constant and it was just like taking over everything. And like Jimmy was literally stuck in the middle trying to deal with both of them. So I also just don't really like, I like Corey Graves' commentary, but like not all the time. So just having it be a two-man booth with him and someone who's never done commentary that we know of is going to be interesting.
Well, apparently Kevin has been doing main event.
Oh,
which
see,
I know is a completely different monster from a 3-hour Raw.
Yeah.
And I know he was doing Raw talk for a while as well. And I'm just very concerned about how he's going to do on a 3-hour show.
What they should have done is not let Nigel McGuinness go and put Nigel on Raw. But
is that confirmed that Nigel is completely gone?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame because
Nigel was fantastic.
I love Nigel. I've met him in person. Very sweet guy. What I thought could have happened in an ideal world, which is pending Pat McAfee comes back, or when he comes back, you put Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on SmackDown. They're gold. You don't touch that at all. Wade Barrett goes. Booker T is a transitional announcer. Everybody knows it. We're just going to call it spade a spade. He's doing this until Pat comes back, and I think Wade goes back down. Wade would go back down to NXT with Vic Joseph. They're a great pair as well. And ideally for me, I would have done, if you're going to reshape everything and fire Jimmy, I would have reshaped Raw and done Corey, Nigel, Morrow, if Morrow would ever come back now.
He wouldn't come back with Corey, though.
Yeah.
That's why I think
Corey's like the main reason he was gone.
It was Corey, and I think Vince in his ear as well on SmackDown was also a big issue. And I was like, if Big Bad Vince isn't there in some people's eyes, I was like, that could be a leeway for Morrow to come back. I just also really miss Morrow, like in his commentary, because he brought such an interesting eloquence to wrestling in a like his verbiage and how he would compare things. I thought it was really good, and I wish he can come back. And I love his enthusiasm about stuff. But again, this isn't the perfect world. This is what we have. The two-man booth thing across all brands is very interesting, and it screams this is what Triple H wants to do. I'm just to see interesting how the new pairing does. Like I said, Cole and Wade did really good tonight. I'm very interested to see what happens with Kevin and Corey on the quote-unquote season premiere of Raw in Brooklyn.
Yeah, so it's a 2/3 swallow for me. I'll swallow the NXT announced team. I'll swallow SmackDown announced team. I am holding reservations for Raw because I don't know what it's going to be. So for now, that's a gargle.
I'm very cautious with Raw as well.
I'm really hoping that with Byron Saxton going backstage, they use him. I talked about this recently, how they used to use like Kevin Kelly or Michael Cole. Because he is that easy to pick on, mess with, that they'll use him to get some of these heels and even baby faces over in interviews.
Jonathan Coachman as well was the same way.
Yep, Coachman, exactly. That's the way he's utilized, and I think he's going to be great for that.
Putting some team in War Games.
But yeah, so 2/3 swallow for now. We'll see how, like you said, Raw, we'll find out on Monday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tentative. Katie, what's your last spit or swallow?
See, now I could do Dark Order and Death Triangle, but I'm gonna do Trent and the Bastard. Because I love Trent Beretta just as a person and as a wrestler. And Pac is Pac. Like, it's one of the best people AEW has.
Tupac?
No.
2 titles, Tupac?
I think they should have lost the titles tonight.
2 titles, Tupac. I'm just saying.
But like that match was great, and the fact that Pac literally went back to back with matches, like he was the last match of Rampage and then the first match of Battle of the Belts, and him and Trent went the fucking limit. It literally took a hammer for him to get the win, because now he likes using the hammer from the ring bell. But there was like the table spot, and Trent landed on his neck weird, and then I got nervous because like Trent also just had like neck fusion surgery like months ago. So anytime he lands on his neck, I get scared, much like how I was when Brian first came back, and Edge, and like everyone who has neck issues. But I loved the match. Like that kept me invested in the fucking Battle of the Belts shit in the beginning. So that'll be my last swallow.
All right, I'm with you on that. That was one of the only matches from Battle of the Belts that I caught, because things ended and I had to drive home, and it's not safe to watch TV on your phone while you're driving home, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. I don't recommend it. My last swallow is going to be everything White Rabbit and the QR codes that we got both tonight, the commercial that they actually played for Extreme Rules with the White Rabbit finding the X and then giving us the date and all of that. But the Huskus pig that Joey from the Angle podcast found, if you freeze frame the QR code from tonight during the Porky the Pig stuff, there is Huskus in there. So I have not been this excited about figuring out, like, it very obviously Bray Wyatt, but also if it's not, like, finding out what the fuck is going on and how all of this works. Like you said, I am excited yet terrified for how this is going to pay off, but I'm going to err on excited going into tomorrow night. And Extreme Rules as a whole has me very excited.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I was anxious. I still might be anxious away. They would have got 15 hours left. I am still anxious away from potentially buying a ticket and driving to Philly. Okay. That's how excited I am for this. Like, the more that got revealed on this card, I was like, oh shit, they're going hard for this. And I'm very excited. The White Rabbit thing is the most compelling thing in wrestling in a while. It is a Marvel level Easter egg hunt. That's what it's been. And I also love the fact that Triple H did this whole little spiel, like, oh yeah, by the way, let me flip the mic over and blatantly show this QR code like I'm supposed to, and act like nothing's going on. I've never seen something so fucking creative. They have literally used, because the first time that I noticed the QR things, I'm a big Marvel fan, is when I was watching Moon Knight earlier on in the year. And in Moon Knight, they would hide QR codes in the episodes, and they would lead you to these exclusive Moon Knight comics. that were either previously released and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been using that and been using songs and people dressed up as plants in the crowd and signs behind the announcers, and to the point where they are hiding clues in the coding of the website.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like hiding clues and coding the website, releasing stuff on a YouTube account that had been dormant for 15 years. Okay, like it is mind-blowing what they have done in such a small amount of time, and it's made everybody go mad.
Oh yeah.
Everybody go mad.
Fucking fantastic. And I am terrified and so excited, because
I swear if it's the gobbledygooker, I will be pissed.
If it is this guy, one of my favorite wrestlers of the last 10 years, very excited to have Bray back. So, but also don't want to get my hopes up, so it's Allie.
I'm going gobbledygooker. I mean, it could be a Velveteen Dream, which would be hysterical.
Fitzpatrick, I swear to God.
It's not Velveteen Dream, it's the Patrick Clark experience. Remember that?
I'm fighting. If it's Patrick, I'm fighting Triple H.
It's B Rabbit. We're gonna see.
Yeah, it's B Rabbit. It's B Rabbit.
Yep.
Full get it.
All right, Ricky, please plug your show. Big Willie and the K Murphy, and everywhere they can find you guys, and Wrestle Addict Radio.
Yes, thank you very much. So thank you guys for joining me. And I love seeing all of your commentary and stuff. So all you guys on the streams on Twitch and YouTube, please also give my show a follow, Kings of the Rings podcast, at KOTR underscore podcast, pretty much on all social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're going to have a bunch of content up this week with our Extreme Rules prediction and a bunch of shenanigans we did this week on our live streaming show. We stream live every Wednesday night, unfortunately during Dynamite, because some wrestling show has to take the action. Right now it's Dynamite. We stream 8 p.m. Every Wednesday live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, 2 YouTube pages, and our Facebook page as well simultaneously. So you can find us there at KOTR underscore podcast. Like, share, subscribe, leave us some great 5-star reviews. We are a part of a bigger wrestling network known as Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast, featuring the likes of not only Kings of the Rings podcast, but the Fretzelmania podcast, who is just releasing they're going on a Ruthless Aggression review, and they're up to the episode where it's the first match ever between John Cena and Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. So they're reviewing that. We also have the Brace for Impact podcast, hosted by my friend Nate at The Real Effing Game. He does reviews of original OG TNA. Okay. And then we also have, who's on a little bit of a hiatus right now, the Young Lions Perspective podcast, aka Mr. YLP. He is also one of our people who brings a Stephen A. Smith vibe to our network each and every week. So that's all of us at Wrestle Addict Radio. For Wrestle Addict Radio socials, you can follow us at addict_wrestle on Twitter, and Wrestle Addict Radio everywhere else. All of our shows, and my own self as well, King Ricky Rose, find me at Ambassador Biggs. We all have our own merchandise stores. We all have one collective stream on the Wrestle Addict Radio, but if you wanted to listen to us separately, we also all have our separate streams and social medias as well. So we can be found pretty much fucking anywhere. Buy our merch. We have some great stuff coming out, and I think that's everything. Yeah.
And they're great, and you can occasionally catch me, depending on what's going on with Dynamite and how busy I am, over in their streams in the comments. So
you're a big pre-show. You're a big pre-show commentator.
I try to pop in. Solo Cicady, go ahead and plug yourself.
Wow, I like that.
That was the name of the last episode I did, because I went solo because my co-host is currently in California. But you can follow me on Twitter at GatorAsm13, and Linktree I'm about to take you all things Juliet Showcase, twitch.tv/Juliet Showcase, typically Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, unless something happens, like I went after Dynamite on Wednesday this past week. YouTube.com/Juliet Showcase. I say watch the videos because they are way more entertaining. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. If you like to listen, She Lead showcases like the brand. So She Lead is the weekly show. Inside the Mind of is an interview series I do. I'm doing one tomorrow, and it'll be out, I don't know, like 2 Mondays. I don't know. I can't think right now. And then I have the one planned for Halloween, which that's gonna be a fun one to release. It just so happened that Halloween's on a Monday, and that's when I had to post one. So that'll be great.
There you go.
In the Crowd is currently on a hiatus until Justin can either get Yo Boys or we figure something else out. My co-host Savannah has her show New Japan Takeover, and we'll have another show, but we're currently having issues trying to get it into the Google Drive. So I don't know when that'll actually be out, but she recorded an episode where it's having issues. But there's a lot of stuff. And if you don't find me there, I'm here.
She is.
It's very good.
And as always, you can follow me at Marudos at MATTRIDDR on Twitter. Only also getting offed on Twitter, our new horror podcast, which dropped its very first episode featuring Justin of the Get Show podcast and Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe, where we talk all things Chucky leading through season 1 to get you ready for season 2, which first episode has just dropped. So please go check that out. Everywhere you find the Smackin' Raw podcast, you can find that, except audio form. This is, as of now, video only. So YouTube, Twitch, it's there. Please check it out. Creation World is the banner under which the Smackin' Raw podcast exists, and you can follow them at It's Creation World at ITSCREATIA World on Twitter and Instagram. CreationWorld.com, Facebook.com/Creation World. We have a Patreon. Go to Linktree/Creation World or Linktree/Smackin' Raw. Check out the Patreon. Subscribe to Patreon, please, so Travis is happy and stops telling me that I have to keep plugging it. And also, we got great content over there, including Return to Wrestling, which I do with Travis, which we should have a new episode recorded and dropping very soon. Just got to set the time up for that. We have a Facebook group, Facebook.com/group/Smackin' Raw. And I think that's it. Did I miss anything, Katie? If you enjoyed our intro music, Hill Tactics _ does all the music for our show, Katie's shows, get the new Getting Off intro, which is dope as shit. Pretty much everything in and around most of the podcasts we work with on a regular basis. So if you need some music, go hit up Heel Tactics _
Yeah.
Other than that, for Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe and the King Ricky Rose, I am the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin' Raw podcast.